Hi everyone, this is Alena J. Ingle, and today I am back with part 2 in the new series I'm doing, which is my personal top 100 favorite boy and girl names. I have already done part 1, and I will go ahead and link that in the description box below, and you might go ahead and watch that first if you haven't seen it. And today I'm going to be talking about my favorite names for boys and girls that are ranked at 90 through 81. At 90, I have the names Corwin and Apphia. Corwin is an English name that means heart's friend. That's really my favorite part about this name. I just absolutely adore that. It's just so sweet. I also just think this name has a really super masculine sound, and I could picture it on like an athlete or something like that. I actually went to junior high with someone with the last name Corwin, and that's what first introduced me just to the name, period. And again, that meaning made me absolutely love it. I really love a lot of two-syllable C names, and I have several ranked higher than this, so I don't think I would ever use it, but I think this name would be super accessible, especially because it has the Corey nickname option. This name was only the top 1,000 boy names in the years 1969, 1970, and 1988, and in the 900s, so it's never been a popular name. Apphia is a Phrygian name that means darling. I absolutely love that meaning so much. In the Bible, this was the wife of Philemon, and Philemon is of course one of the books in the Bible. I think this would make a wonderful Sophia alternative, and I just think it's so sweet. Unfortunately, again, I love lots of A girl names, and so there are several I would probably use before this one, which is why it's so low on my list, but I think it's absolutely beautiful. And I have talked about this name in a couple of other name videos that I will link in the description box below. At number 89, I have the names Tavish and Jordana. Tavish is the Scottish form of the name Thomas, which means twin. Thomas is a major family name for me, and a lot of people use it, and so I've been trying to come up with other ways to honor the Thomases without using the name Thomas, and Tavish is definitely one of my favorite options for that. Unfortunately, my husband doesn't like it, but that's okay because my friend Amelia, who is Everything Baby Names on YouTube, really loves this name and has it in her top boy name, so hopefully she can use it someday after all the Thomases in her family as well. Jordana is the feminine form of Jordan, which means flowing it down. There is a gorgeous actress named Jordana Brewster. I definitely picture her with this name. This is a name that fellow name lover Megan, who is Tulip by any name on YouTube, really loves as well. And I have a first cousin named Jordan that's a male, and my husband has a first cousin named Jordan that's a female. And so I don't think I could ever use this name, but I think it's just absolutely gorgeous. At number 88, I have the names Alban and Olesya. Alban is an English name that means white. I've just always really adored the sound of this name. I love how it's super masculine and handsome, but also really soft. Unfortunately, I can never get my husband to like this name, but I think it's absolutely wonderful. Olesya is a Russian diminutive of the name Olga, which means holy and blessed. There is a gorgeous actress named Olesya Rulin. I definitely picture her with this name, and that's where I first saw this name. In my series I did earlier this year, a less popular alternatives to the top 100 girl names, I included Olesya as an Olivia alternative, and I'll go ahead and link that video in the description box below. This name is rare and very easy to pronounce and spell, and so beautiful, and I can honestly use this name if I can ever get my husband to like it. At 87, I have the names Kendrew and Lois. Kendrew is the Scottish form of Andrew, which means man. This name is super rare, and I hadn't even heard of it until I think last year, but I just love how it has lots of super accessible nickname options like Ken, Kenny, and Drew, of course. I think it is so crazy handsome, and the only reason I wouldn't use it is because I already know a Drew that I see all the time and would not want to associate my child's name with. Lois is an English name that comes from the Greek meaning most beautiful. Absolutely wonderful meaning. This is a biblical name. It's a really great biblical association. It is the grandma of Timothy in the Bible. This is a family name for me. Lois is my paternal grandma's name. She doesn't ever go by it, so I don't think I could ever use it because she doesn't really care for her name, but I might potentially use it as a middle name in the future. This left the top 1,000 girl names in 1983 and was the top 100 name from 1902 through 1953. I think this name is absolutely wonderful, and of course my grandma having this name makes it a great association for me. At 86, I have the names Anchor and Josefa. Anchor is of course an English word name referring to an anchor, and I just love the biblical verses and hymns that have to do with being an anchor for the soul. That's what it makes me think of. There's also an absolutely gorgeous song called Anchor by Mindy Gledhill, and I love the idea of using it, but I don't really love it with my last name very much, so I don't think I ever will. But I think this name would fit in really well with other two-syllable names like Parker and Cooper. that are popular right now. I also included this as a Parker alternative in my series that I did earlier this year. Josefa is a Spanish and Portuguese feminine form of the name Joseph, which means God will increase. Joseph is a major family name for me. I have 3 generations of Josephs on my mom's side, and what I love about Josefa is that she could go by Posey as a nickname. I absolutely adore the name Posey, but it doesn't work well with my last name, and so I would love to be able to find a longer name that I could use Posey for a nickname for. This was actually a top 1,000 girl name through 1934 and was never higher than 671, so it's never been popular in the US. At 85, I have the names Timon and Anwen. Timon is an English name that comes from the Greek meaning to honor, so great meaning. I think this would be a great Simon alternative. I used to absolutely adore the name Simon, and I've slowly started falling out of love with it in the last couple of years, and so I think this is a great replacement for Simon. This is also can be pronounced Timon, of course, just like Simon can be pronounced Simone, and of course Timon is one of the characters from The Lion King. Timon was one of the 7 deacons mentioned in the New Testament in the Bible. There is a Timon of Athens play by Shakespeare. I do think Theron and Timon are probably too close for brothers. I have a son named Theron. Otherwise, I could totally use this name, and I would just love to see someone else use it. I think it would make a great Tyler alternative as well. Anwen is a Welsh name that means very beautiful, just like Lois. Great, great, great meaning. This is a name that I see a lot in the naming community come up, but not in real life at all. It's very uncommon in the US. I absolutely love names ending in W-E-N, but my husband hates all of them, unfortunately, so I probably won't ever use it. At number 84, I have the names Clive and Joanna. Clive is an English name meaning cliff. I definitely think of the actor Clive Owen, and there is a large town that I live close to called Clive. C.S. Lewis's birth name was actually Clive Staples Lewis, so I think he's a wonderful association, and this is a name my friend Amelia that I mentioned earlier really loves as well. My husband doesn't like this name, unfortunately. He grew up in this area, and so he too strongly associates it as just being a town, but I think this name is super, super handsome. Joanna is an English feminine form of John, meaning God's grace. This is the name of a woman mentioned in the New Testament in the Bible, and I don't think I can ever use this name because I have a close friend named Joanna that would be a little bit weird to name after, but she does make me like this name even more, and I would love to meet little girls named Joanna. I think it's totally underrated. This has always been in the top 1,000 girl names in the US, but it was only in the top 100 2 years in the 80s, so it's never been too popular in the US before. At 83, I have the names Jer and Carolyn. Jer is an English name that comes from the Hebrew meaning to shine. There are 4 men in the Bible named Jer, including one of the judges in the book of Judges in the Bible, and he had 30 sons that each ruled their own city, is what they say about Jer. This is also the name of one of the Willis kids from the show on TLC, I believe. This was a top 1,000 boy name in 1996 and re-entered in 2001 and is now ranked at 993. I think this name totally needs to be discovered. It's really cool, and I love how easy it is to pronounce and spell. Carolyn, of course, is a feminine form of the name Charles, which means free man. I think this would make a wonderful Caroline alternative because Caroline is a top 50 girl name right now. When I was little, my sister had a friend that had a little baby brother that would always call her Carolyn, even though my sister's name is Ryan, and so I think because of that, I think of Carolyn as just a really sweet, sweet name. Names ending in LYN are very in right now, but Carolyn is not too popular right now. It's currently ranked at 752. It's actually always been the top 1,000 girl names. It was a top 100 name from 1927 through 1970. I have an aunt Carol, so I don't know if I could use this. My family would probably think it would be weird that I would use a name so close to hers, but Charles is a big time family name on my husband's side, so it could be a good way to honor all of those Charleses in his family. At 82, I had the names Curran and Elspeth. Curran is a Gaelic name that means little spear. It is a super rare name, but it was one that a year or two I heard for the first time and I instantly fell in love with it. I just think it's so easy and accessible and super, super handsome. Elspeth is the Scottish form of Elizabeth, and Elizabeth is a family name for me, as it probably is for most of my viewers as well, but this is a name I really just love for the sound. This is a name, again, that my friend Amelia really loves as well, and it's a name I've never been able to sell my husband on, unfortunately. And at number 81, I have the names Knox and Amber. Knox is a Scottish name meaning round hill. This was definitely associated with Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. It's one of their children's names. And Thomas Knox was my top boy combo when I first found the naming community online about 7 years ago. Knox is a family name for me. It's my husband's grandpa's middle name, and it's another name, once again, that Amelia really loves, but unfortunately I just could never use it because my husband's mom doesn't like the name Knox, and it's her dad that has that name, so it would be very respectful to her to use it. This entered the top 1,000 boy names for the first time in 2009 and is now currently ranked at 258 and rising, which is really exciting to see. And then Amber is of course an English name that refers to the color or the substance. I just find the actual substance of amber really fascinating, and I do love that color. I always liked the sound of this name when I was younger, and I kind of forgot about it a little bit, but now I've become close to someone whose name is Amber, and I could possibly consider using it as a middle name in the future after her. This has always been in the top 1,000 girl names and the top 100 name from 1974 through 2004. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please let me know in the comments below what your favorites were from this list of names, and have a great day.